Hey guys, so you all know why I'm here. So you guys know why I'm here. Wrestling Week in Review live stream. Pretty, I'm pretty excited about today. There were some things, a lot of things that happened today that weren't. A lot of things that happened this week that I'm excited for. Hey Austin. Hey Austin. Anybody that comes into the live stream that wants to leave a like on the live stream is is fine. They can do it if they want. They don't have to, but I would appreciate it. And as always, I got the drink. My Batman James Fishing. Okay, I think I know you. I know you either from Tuber Chat or from somebody else. I don't know. I've seen you before somewhere. I just can't remember where. Be honest, I didn't watch. Okay, well, to be honest, I didn't watch Rampage. I didn't watch Rampage anyways. I don't really watch Rampage. I don't cover it on any of these live streams that I do. I'm trying. One of the things that I want that I do want to do. One thing that I do want to do in this year is get this channel monetized. So I want at least 500 subscribers and I need at least 3,000 watch hours. That's one thing that I would love to do this year with this channel. So I'm hoping that at some point I can get that to happen. So, well, hopefully, Fat Man James Fishing, hopefully you've watched all the other wrestling that happened this week, like Raw, NXT, Dynamite, and SmackDown, because I'll be able to. Yeah, I mean, it's not like. Yeah, that's why I've been going to your. That's why I've been going to James. That's why I've been going to Tuber Chat. That's why I think that's why I really like Tuber Chat because because I really like. So that's kind of why I like Tuber Chat because it can help me because they can help me with that. Mm. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely. Well, you guys know why I'm here. I am going to be leaving at around 4:30 because instead of sometime after 5, so I'm going to have to really stick and move with what I'm talking about here because there's a NFL playoff game tonight that starts at 4:30 and Dad wants to be there so we can watch most of it, the majority of it. So, and as always, I got my notes with me. I do this before every live stream, or at least I try to. That way I don't forget anything that happened this week. I just want to be able to I just don't want to have to stutter on my words, which I have been known to do. So, and thank you for the 4 likes. Maybe we can get this to 10 likes by the end of the live stream. I don't know, but let's get into it. The start of the week with the show that starts the week off, obviously Monday Night Raw. What started out the show was Drew McIntyre and Cody Rhodes confrontation. Basically what they talked about was the Royal Rumble match. And how both of them need to win it, and it was basically that's what it was all about, was just the Royal Rumble. It was a great segment. They even talked about their last match together, which I guess was when Drew McIntyre was during Drew McIntyre's first run in the company. Yeah, I am. Yeah, I'm sort of over it too. Hey, Danny. I don't know if you know Fat Man James Fishing, but he's from Tuba Chat, so yeah. I mean, he's a heel at the moment, Drew McIntyre. So most heels, what they do, most heels, they are gonna complain a lot. So that's kind of what but hey, it is what it is. But yeah, I do kind of think Drew McIntyre needs to stop complaining and needs to stop, blaming others, because yeah, and there's Danny Staten. He has a wrestling channel. He has a channel that's just got nothing but wrestling on it. So that's pretty cool. Yes, so Monday Night Raw, yeah, Drew McIntyre, that we got what we got next was also my friend Austin Benninger. He also has a wrestling channel. Okay. Then we got a match with Judgment Day. We got I think it was DIY of Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano versus Dominic Mysterio and JD McDonough. As of right now, I feel like JD McDonough and Dominic Mysterio are like jobbers at this point, because I can't remember the last time we've seen them actually win a match. It's been a long time, and I can't remember if JD McDonough has won a match since joining the Judgment Day. But I mean, they're good superstars to have when you've got like a. It was okay, Danny. I'm going to talk about it as the last thing I talk about. But yeah, Yeah, but the storyline I think here is gonna be Vlad. Oh, okay. I think you're from. Yeah, Tom and Nick. Oh my gosh, that's basically Dominic, but R-Truth, I guess, doesn't know who Dominic Mysterio is, and he's just saying Tom and Nick Mysterio. It's this. That's funny. It's funny. R-Truth. Look, I'm gonna say this right now. R-Truth is funny. He is funny. Hey, thank you guys. Thank you guys for stopping by to say hello. If any of you that are just now coming into the live stream if anybody that's coming in wants to I mean, he is pretty funny. He is funny, Danny. But if anybody that's just now coming into the live stream, even if they're here to say hello, do they wanna if they wanna put a like on the live stream, they don't have to, but I would appreciate it. Yeah, we got DIY would go on to win the match against Judgment Day, against Dominic and JD. And what I think is going to happen eventually, what I think is going to happen is Judgment Day is going to turn on Damian Priest. He's going to fail his cash in, and he's going to lose, and he's going to be outed by Judgment Day, because I think eventually Judgment Day is going to think that Damian Priest is like a little bit. I guess what I'm saying is Damian Priest definitely seems to have warmed up at least R-Truth. And that's something that the rest of Judgment Day doesn't like, because the rest of Judgment Day, they don't like R-Truth. And the fact that Damian Priest actually thinks that some of the stuff that R-Truth has done is actually kind of funny, I think that's what's making him. That's what's gonna eventually get Judgment Day to realize, oh wait, Damian Priest is going soft. Damian Priest is going soft on R-Truth. And that may be what gets Judgment Day to turn on him. So basically, I think basically what I'm saying is R-Truth is slowly but surely going to turn Damian Priest's face. He's going to be what turns Damian Priest's face and what gets him outed from Judgment Day. Is maybe eventually Judgment Day ask Damian Priest to get rid of the whole R-Truth situation for good, but then he decides, I don't know if I want to, and then that's when they realize he's gone soft on us. We'll just have to get rid of him. Hopefully it all works out, and hopefully it makes for a good storyline, because what they could wind up doing is a Finn Balor versus Damian Priest match at WrestleMania. That would be pretty interesting, just to say the least. We also got an R-Truth and Damian Priest segment backstage, where R-Truth was apparently selling Judgment Day merch, and Damian Priest was like, I don't know if you should be doing this. I don't think Judgment Day would like it. I mean, and then he was like, well, okay, you can do it, just don't tell anybody. Just don't tell anybody, and don't make a big deal out of it. But we also got a backstage segment with Chelsea Green and Piper Niven, asking for yet another rematch or so for the women's tag team titles. They already got a rematch, so they are not getting another rematch. But Indy Hartwell and Candice LeRae would come and confront them, and and that set up a tag team match between the two teams. I mean, it's just something he likes to do for a lot of people. James Fisher. It's. I mean, but yeah, that was so we got Piper Niven and Chelsea Green versus uh, Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell. Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell would actually go on to win the match. I do kind of like Chelsea Green and her sort of caring gimmick. I actually think her gimmick is actually pretty good. Sheesh. Yeah, I know. She ain't no Raquel Rodriguez. Raquel Rodriguez. But I think Raquel Rodriguez is a little bit better. I like both of them, and I like Chelsea Green. I think she's great at being the quote unquote woman that just complains about everything and just complains that nothing seems to go her way. I like her gimmick. I think she's going to be a great heel for the women's division, especially once they decide to turn her into a single star. Oh, you like Alexa Bliss? Yeah, I like her too. I cannot wait for Alexa Bliss to come back. Oh, I can't wait for Alexa Bliss to come back. But right now, she is still sort of, I guess, recovering from having her baby. Oh, that's cool. Well, have a good time, Austin. Yeah. I like Bianca Belair. There's probably not one woman superstar that I don't like. Except Charlotte, Danny. But that's mainly because of the fact that she just always gets handed everything, and she's just awarded title matches that she doesn't necessarily earn. She just is given them because it's expected, because she expects it. And I feel like when she does come back from this injury, she needs to not be inserted into the title picture immediately. That's something that I feel like she needs to be in a program with somebody that's not a champion, to just to prove that she can do something great without she can be in a feud that doesn't involve a title. Whereas I feel like she's almost always, because almost all of her feuds have been for a title. But yeah, we also got Gunther returning today. Yeah, I know, but well, I'll say this much: she's better than Roman Reigns. I'll give her that. She's better than Roman Reigns because at least Charlotte Flair is there on a consistent basis. She's always there. Even when she was champion, she was there. Roman Reigns, not so much. Hopefully Cody Rhodes is the one to finish the story at WrestleMania. Because I'm sorry, but I'm with a bunch of other guys who are like, who are like me, who think that Roman Reigns versus Brock should happen at Elimination Chamber. It's just as big of a match. It's just as big of a crowd as WrestleMania would be, and it's basically in Perth, and it'll be at an international pay-per-view. And I also know some people are like, "Oh, it's early, very early in the morning. No one's going to watch The Rock." People will watch because it is The Rock. It's The Rock, okay? When The Rock is wrestling at a WWE PLE, people will watch. I don't care how late it is or how early it is, people will watch. It's The Rock. I mean, that's how big he has become. That's how big he has become in WWE. When he is just that big of a star now that it doesn't matter when he's wrestling, at what time he's wrestling, he's gonna get people to watch. Oh yeah, not spam. You can't spam emojis if you're not a. Oh, who are you going with? Yeah, you can't spam emojis, and you can't spam if you're not a mod. You can't spam emojis, and you can't spam caps. Like you can only use a certain number of letters in caps if you're a mod. Yeah, I got Nightbot because that's kind of one of the few things that you can only type in a certain number of emojis. Like 3 emojis is I think the limit if you're not a mod, or Nightbot will time you out. I think you were spamming a bunch of caps. All caps. Well, I can't see the message, but if you want to, I can make you a mod if you want. If you want, I can make you a mod. But if you don't necessarily want to be a mod, and you're just okay with just being here, then that's okay. We got, yeah. Okay, that's cool. Oh, well, like I said, I hope you have fun, Austin. We got Gunther returning. He talked about the Royal Rumble match. He will be entering the Royal Rumble match. He talked about how he lasted the most out of any superstar ever at last year's Royal Rumble match, which he did. He did set the new record for longest time spent in a Royal Rumble match. They said that he beat Rey Mysterio's time. And technically that's not true, because technically Daniel Bryan lasted longer than Rey in the greatest Royal Rumble in 2018. But obviously because of the fact that Daniel Bryan's no longer in WWE, he's in the rival promotion AEW, they decided his record doesn't count anymore, so it's okay. But it's okay, it is what it is. Then we got a return from Xavier Woods, who would confront both Gunther and Ludwig Kaiser for what they did to his tag team partner, Kofi Kingston last week. We would go on to get a match between Xavier Woods and Ludwig Kaiser, in which, if I'm not mistaken, it ended in a DQ after Xavier Woods would throw an announcer's chair or a chair at Ludwig Kaiser. One thing I do like about the New Day is no matter how goofy they seem sometimes, when they get into that ring, they are serious, and they can be serious when they need to be. When they need to be serious, that's when they are serious. One of the things I actually do kind of like about the New Day is that no matter how goofy they are, they can be serious at times, and they can get serious when they need to be. And I think that's the best thing about the New Day. the DQ. Ludwig Kaiser would also go and attack, would also beat down Xavier Woods, but he wouldn't be able to do. But he wasn't able to do the thing. But he wasn't able to do what he did to Kofi Kingston. So that's good. We got a Akira Tozawa match versus Ivar. Ivar would actually go on to win this match. Akira Tozawa would actually go on to win this match. Surprisingly, I didn't think it was going to happen, but Ivar was going for a move off the top rope. Akira Tozawa would counter into a sunset flip powerbomb to pin Ivar. But then obviously Ivar and Valhalla were super pissed after the match, so they attacked Tozawa, and who was accompanying Tozawa to the ring, Maxine Dupree. We also got another backstage segment after the match in which Creed Brothers and Ivy Nile would come backstage to check on Akira Tozawa and Alpha Academy, and Ivy Nile would call out Valhalla. So something tells me eventually we're either gonna get a match between Valhalla and then Ivy Nile next week or sometime soon. So that's gonna happen. I'm guessing. We got a Shinsuke Nakamura promo in which Shinsuke Nakamura would actually declare for the Royal Rumble match. If I'm not mistaken, he already was declared. But then I guess he talked about the Royal Rumble match. It seemed only appropriate that he would be in the Royal Rumble match because he's one of the bigger stars. We got 2 interviews tonight before the main event. Jinder Mahal and Seth freaking Rollins would both talk about their match tonight for the World Heavyweight Championship. We got a Natalya and Tegan Nox versus Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark match. This was, I guess, probably to see who would crown new possible number one contenders for the WWE Women's Tag Team titles, held by Katana Chance and Kaden Carter. What's RR and BL? I can't remember what that. Then we would get to the main event, which was Seth Rollins versus Jinder Mahal. Jinder Mahal almost won the title at one point when is either Veer or the other one that was with him, or the other guy that was with him who clocked Seth Rollins with the briefcase with Damian Priest Money in the Bank briefcase, because at one point Damian Priest came out to possibly tease a cash-in. Drew McIntyre would then confront him. They would brawl. They're supposed to have a match this upcoming Monday Night Raw. And we would get whichever one it was of this year, they would hit Seth Rollins in the face with the briefcase. Jinder Mahal used the Colossus, but got a 2.5 count. So, and Seth Rollins would obviously win. But then one of the main things coming out of this was that Seth Rollins may actually be hurt. So I don't know what's going to happen with the World Heavyweight Championship. We could get the title vacated. This upcoming Monday Night Raw, also happening this upcoming Monday Night Raw, Seth Rollins is supposed to be there to address the situation of his potential injury. So we're definitely going to get some answers this upcoming Monday Night Raw as far as the status of him being world champion and in the status of his potential injury. So I'm very much hoping to hear him speak. That was basically it for Monday Night Raw. If I had to rate Monday Night Raw, 6.5 out of 10. It was a good show. Some good segments, some bad segments, but it wasn't like it was great, but not terrible. That's all I'm gonna say. Now to Tuesday and NXT. NXT has been good. I've been saying this now for a long time now. NXT, at least for a long time, was actually very good. And I feel like, but there have been some shows that just haven't been too good and that impressive. But I got a backstage interview from Fallon Henley. She talked about their day with Tiffany Stratton. That was pretty funny. That day that Tiffany Stratton went as Fallon Henley's ranch hand. That was pretty funny. Because you could just tell throughout that segment that they aired that Tiffany Stratton was so pissed that she was having to do anything that involved getting her hands dirty, just getting her clothes dirty. And I think she's definitely going to be a big star in the making. And also, she's very young, so she's going to be in WWE for a long time. We got a little backstage segment with Tatum Paxley sort of keeping a watchful eye on Lola Vice and Elektra Lopez. I'm not sure what their plan is for this little mini storyline, I guess, with Tatum Paxley and Lyra Valkyria. What I have actually said within the last few weeks, what they could be going for is a Mickie James Trish Stratus route here, where Tatum Paxley is kind of the Mickie James of the situation, where she's just she's super fan of Lyra Valkyria, and she just loves Lyra and everything about her and everything. And then Lyra Valkyria is basically obviously the Trish Stratus of the situation, because she's the champion, because she's the women's champion. And if that's where they are going with this, is that they have the thing where Tatum Paxley just snaps and wants to go after Lyra Valkyria's title. I could see that being the case. First, we got Roxanne Perez and Lyra Valkyria apparently at... Well, actually, I'm not going to get to that right now. We got Oba Femi, who is now the new NXT North American champion. Last week, not this week, but the previous week on Tuesday night, Oba Femi, Dragon Lee, and Lexis King had a match for the NXT North American Championship. Dragon Lee won the match, but following the match, Oba Femi would go on to cash in his breakout tournament contract that he got from winning the breakout tournament last year, and would go on to cash in on Dragon Lee and is now the new North American champion, which was definitely a moment that I didn't expect to happen, but it happened, and I'm okay with it, because it was a great little moment, little shocker moment, obviously, because I don't think anyone would have expected that. At least not so soon into him winning the title, and the Dragon Lee winning the title, because he only held the title for at least maybe a little over a month, maybe a little less than that. But Dragon Lee basically told Oba Femi, then Dragon Lee would eventually come out to interrupt Oba Femi, would say to Oba that he deserves a rematch at Vengeance Day. Oba Femi would go on to say, "I will think about it." So What my prediction is we are gonna probably get a rematch between these two at Vengeance Day, an actual match that lasts more than a few minutes, more than like 2 or 3 minutes, which I think is how long that match lasted. Like maybe a minute, maybe 2 minutes tops. As far as who retains, I think Obafemi should retain, and that should send Dragon Lee up to the main roster, back up to the main roster, because it seems like ever since he won that torch title, even though for the first like couple of weeks he had the title and was showing up on Monday on SmackDown, he's been majority on NXT for this run. Because I do feel like the plans for Deadline were for Wesley to win the title from Dominic Mysterio. It seemed like that was the way they were planning it all. But then Wesley got injured, and so they had to go with their backup plan, which was Dragon Lee. So it was a nice little. It was a nice match, and they won the match, and they won the match anyways. So it's like, so hey, it was what it was. We got Dijak backstage something with Dijak confronting Trey Bearhill, of all reasons. We would get a match between those two later on tonight, in which Lexis King would get involved in the match. I think Dijak won, and then Lexis King would get involved, and it looks like Trey Bearhill and Lexis King are going to get into a match at some point. When, I don't know. We got the Dusty Cup, Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic. We got 2 matches today. We got Carmelo Hayes and Chuck Williams versus Idris Anofe and Malik Blade. Carmelo Hayes and Chuck Williams would go on to win the match. That match. We also got an LWO versus Chase U match, in which LWO would be successful. We got Riley Osborne and Duke Hudson representing Chase U. Riley Osborne obviously was the other finalist in the breakout tournament this past year, so that's pretty cool. And LWO wins. They will be facing off obviously against Carmelo Hayes and Chuck Williams on a future NXT episode. Perhaps that's going to be next week. Maybe that'll be this week. Who knows? We got a backstage segment with Josh Briggs, and apparently I don't know why he was there, but we got JBL on NXT. John Bradshaw Layfield on NXT. He basically had a little bit of a talk with Josh Briggs, and I think what the gist of it was, like, show NXT who you really are. And I'm like, hey, if we get Josh Briggs and JBL, I think Josh Briggs and JBL would be a better team up than JBL and Baron Corbin. Yeah, Baron Corbin and JBL partnership was doomed. I mean, yes, it showed promise because, of course, it's JBL, obviously, but it didn't work out, and I don't think it was ever going to work out. We also got a tag team match, Tatum Paxley, Lyra Valkyria versus Lola Vice and Elektra Lopez. Obviously, Tatum Paxley and Lyra Valkyria would go on to win the match. I don't know why they'd have their women's champion lose, even in a tag team match, if she wasn't even pinned. I don't know why they'd have her lose. So, and the main event apparently was well, we also got a Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams backstage segment. We also got Ilya Dragunov back this week. Ilya Dragunov would confront Trick Williams backstage, saying, and would tell Trick Williams, hey, I know you were expecting me at New Year's Evil. I'm sorry. Obviously, what happened with Ridge Holland, things happened with Ridge Holland. He got injured with Ridge Holland in a match, so he wasn't able to be at NXT New Year's Evil. And so he basically came back this week to personally tell Trick Williams that their match will happen at Vengeance Day, which I guess will be in February, the first in February. So I'm excited for that. What will happen, and then we've got potentially, and then later on in the show, we get a Carmelo Hayes, Trick Williams backstage segment where Trick Williams would tell Carmelo Hayes, hey, guess what? Ilya came back to tell me that our match will be at Vengeance Day. Carmelo Hayes got a little upset because apparently I don't know when the finals for the Dusty Cup Classic are going to be held, but apparently now, from considering what Carmelo Hayes was saying, apparently the finals for the Dusty Cup this year will be at Vengeance Day. So it looks as though Trick Williams will be wrestling twice. If they were to advance to the finals, they'd be wrestling twice. At least Trick Williams would be wrestling twice on the same night. That's interesting. What could happen is if it comes down to Bron Breakker and Baron Corbin versus Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams, Bron Breakker and Baron Corbin could easily win, or maybe Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams could win. Trick Williams loses his match to Ilya Dragunov, which is obviously going to happen. I just don't think they're going to have him win the title so soon from Ilya Dragunov. Maybe they do, actually. Maybe they do. I don't know. But then the main event would be a battle royal, a number one contenders battle royal to determine who would be facing Lyra Valkyria at Vengeance Day for the title. And then the final four in the match, and then once it got down to the final four, it would then turn into a fatal four-way match, with the winner facing Valkyria at Vengeance Day for the title. Roxanne Perez would win the match, so she's going to Vengeance Day to face Valkyria for the NXT Women's Championship. That was basically all of NXT today, that week. So if I had to rate NXT, I'd rate it a 6 out of 10. It was a decent show. Wasn't special, wasn't bad, but it wasn't great either. So it was just 6 out of 10 for me. Then we go to AEW Dynamite on Wednesday. The first thing we get to is a match between Christian Cage and Dustin Rhodes for the TNT title. Apparently this all came about because of a backstage segment last week on Collision, this past Saturday on Collision. And the match was actually low-key very good. It was very good. We had Dustin Rhodes, who's in his 50s, doing a Canadian Destroyer on Christian Cage. What exactly? I feel like R-Truth and Dustin Rhodes are drinking from the same well of life. I don't know where Dustin Rhodes and R-Truth get it from, but they are both wrestling at their ages. They are both wrestling as if they're at least 10 to 20 years younger. And R-Truth, not only does he still wrestle like he did 10, 20 years ago, he looks at least 10 to 20 years younger than he actually is. I mean, he probably keeps himself in good shape and obviously probably takes the right amount of vitamins and supplements to keep himself looking young. But Dustin Rhodes, he obviously can still go. I would love to see Dustin Rhodes eventually back in the WWE, potentially to get into the Hall of Fame as Goldust, which would be the best. Obviously, Goldust, I think, deserves to be in the Hall of Fame as a former Intercontinental Champion and Tag Team Champion. Once, I think, with Booker T, and then I think once with his brother Cody. I can't remember. I think he even had the Golden Truth. Then there was also a Golden Truth with him and R-Truth. So I feel like he's had some great tag teams. Been in some great tag teams with certain superstars. Wouldn't that be something to see Goldust in the Hall of Fame? Imagine the Hall of Fame ceremony. Imagine the acceptance speech. Imagine Goldust giving an acceptance speech after being inducted into the Hall of Fame. Holy Moses, that would. I don't know if they'd have to censor him or not, but they might have to. Because Goldust was always a bit weird for my taste, but it was a good weird because I liked it. I like Goldust, especially that segment on Raw where he confronted Triple H and Ric Flair, and he was just stuttering every single word he was doing. He was like, WrestleMania. And Ric Flair and Triple H were just laughing their asses off. They couldn't contain their excitement. They were having so much fun seeing him. Because I think what happened is that the previous week he had gotten himself like electrocuted. I'm not even sure how it happened, but I think what happened was he had gotten himself electrocuted by Kane, I think, which is what happened, and then that's kind of why he sort of had that sort of stutter to his words. Oh my god, that was such a funny segment. And enough deviating. Okay, let's go back to AEW Dynamite. Okay, I'm sorry, guys. Oh man, I'm a riot tonight. We also, obviously, Christian Cage won by nefarious means, and he's a heel, so that was going to happen no matter what. We got an Orange Cassidy, a tag team match. Orange Cassidy and Trent Beretta versus Penta El Zero Miro and Commander. Basically, it was an okay match. It was a pretty decent match. Wasn't necessarily needed, but it was a good tag team match. Obviously, best friends of Orange Cassidy and Trent Beretta would win the match. What happened after the match was the most important part because the Undisputed Kingdom with Roderick Strong, Matt Taven, I think it was Roderick Strong, Matt Taven, and Mike Bennett would come out to confront Orange Cassidy. Obviously, they are more than likely heading towards a match with Orange Cassidy and Roderick Strong over the International Championship. As far as who I think would win that match, I think it is Roderick Strong that probably should win the match because they've basically been teasing about going after all the titles in AEW. Obviously, Adam Cole wants to get the AEW Championship at some point. Obviously, Mike Bennett and Matt Taven are currently the Ring of Honor World Tag Team Champions. Wardlow, well, as of right now, Wardlow is going to be the one going after the title, but they've already teased at least some dissension in the group because he's basically saying, because Adam Cole basically said that when he's finally healed, and if Wardlow is the champion, Wardlow will drop the title to him. It was basically an order by Washington. Oh.
Be ready to head out
Yeah.
about 15 minutes or so. Okay.
You got Yeah, we got a Hangman Adam Page promo backstage. He talked about wanting to go after the AEW World Championship with Samoa Joe. We also got a backstage segment with Swerve. He also talked about Swerve Strickland, how he's not quite done with Swerve. We also got another backstage segment with Swerve Strickland, obviously. He also talked about wanting to go after the AEW World Heavyweight Championship with Samoa Joe. And I think we might get a triple threat match at some point between the three of them. Samoa Joe, Hangman Adam Page, and Swerve Strickland. Swerve Strickland might just pin Hangman Adam Page to win the title, because I don't know why they'd want their champion pinned to win in a triple threat match. Keeps Samoa Joe looking strong and gives Swerve obviously the title. And then maybe if we need to, we get a rematch with Samoa Joe basically claiming, you may have won the title, but you didn't actually pin me to win the title. That's something that's been done way too many times, I think, actually. Champions demanding rematches after like triple threat matches when they lose their title, saying like basically, oh, you didn't actually pin me. Oh, okay. That's okay. That's okay, Everboss. I don't mind. I don't care. I won trivia on Match Channel anyways on Friday, so congratulations to me. We got a tag team match, Top Flight versus Private Party, Mark Quinn and whoever the other guy is. It's been the guy that's been sort of tag teaming with the parties as of late. Yeah, okay. I think Private Party would actually win this match. We also got a Ring of Honor 6-man World Tag Team title match between, I guess, Bullet Club Gold of Jay White, Austin Colt Gunn versus Mogul Embassy with Brian Cage. I can't remember the other two guys' names, but they're weird names, and I refuse to say them right now because I just don't remember them. We also got a match which Bullet Club Gold would actually win the match, and if this storyline, if this win leads to a possible unification match between Bullet Club Gold and the Acclaimed for the trios titles, then Bullet Club Gold actually should win, and that should dissolve the ROH Ring of Honor 6-man tag team titles, which shouldn't even be a thing on AEW television. It should solely be on Ring of Honor, but I don't know. Yeah, I know. I was shocked that they changed his name to back to Pete Dunne so soon. We also got Anna Jay versus Deonna Purrazzo with Timeless Tony Storm on commentary. It was after the match, though, where the fun actually happened, because after the match, after Deonna won, she would cut a little promo on Toni Storm. Toni Storm would then get on, I guess, her butler / servant Luther's shoulders and would be like, technically speaking. And then she would call Deonna Purrazzo nothing more than an artificially tanned hag, which I thought was a pretty funny little moment. Yeah, I know. Okay. It's okay. It's okay. Which was pretty funny if you think about it. That was pretty funny. Then we get to the main event, Samoa Joe versus Hook. Now, this is the match that everybody was like gonna critique. This was the match that everybody had their eyes on when it came to Dynamite this week. Was Samoa Joe versus Hook gonna deliver? Because AEW was basically making the match out to be a lot more than it actually was. But it was a very, very good match. Samoa Joe obviously won, but Hook showed so much heart in that match. A lot of times, there were a couple of times where I thought he should lose, where he should have just given up, but he didn't. He never gave up in that match. And it was great. And even after the match, he kept asking for more from Samoa Joe, like, I can take it, come on, bring it. So that was it. That was basically it for Monday Night Raw for AEW Dynamite. If I had to actually rate AEW Dynamite, I would rate it a 6 out of 10, 6 out of 10, maybe 6.5. I don't know. Yeah, not, SmackDown, obviously, it was what it was. I watched it last night. We got a contract signing with all 4 participants in the Fatal 4-Way match for the Undisputed Universal Heavyweight Championship. We got a match between. We got basically the best thing that actually come out of this. The best thing to come out of this contract signing was Nick Aldis explaining to Paul Heyman that if Roman Reigns does not sign the contract for the Fatal 4-Way match at Royal Rumble, then the match will be a triple threat match between LA Knight, Styles, and Randy Orton for the vacant Universal Undisputed Universal Heavyweight Championship. And Paul Heyman's reaction was priceless. He immediately went right back down to ringside to have a talk with Nick Aldis, like, oh, no. Like, that was, like, damn. Nick Aldis, and I am now slowly but surely becoming, Nick Aldis is slowly but surely becoming one of the best things of that on SmackDown. Just his constant defiance of the bloodline, defying of the bloodline is it's great to see. We got an LWO versus Legado 2.0 match between Carlito, Joaquin Wilde, and Cruz del Toro versus Santos Escobar, Humberto Carrillo, and Angel Garza. Legado 2.0 wins. It was a good match. Basically, this feud's definitely going to pick up once Rey Mysterio comes back. Hopefully in the Royal Rumble, and hopefully he is the one to eliminate Santos Escobar. He's the only one that makes even the least bit of sense. I mean, maybe Carlito goes into eliminates Rey Santos, but it would make more sense for Rey to do it. We got a Final Testament promo on the Pride, basically, and now we're going to be getting a in-ring segment on next week's Friday Night SmackDown, where the Final Testament and the Pride will have a face-off in the ring. Should be pretty good. We got, like everybody said, a tag team match between Pretty Deadly, Tyler Bate, and now the returning Pete Dunne, who is no longer Butch, is Pete Dunne. I'm so excited about it. I'm sorry if certain people don't like Pete Dunne. I don't know what the problem is. All they changed was his name, and yet some people are already saying that it's a terrible decision because it Butch was a character, and now he's Pete Dunne, George Boying. Yeah, it wasn't anything different. There was nothing different about Butch and Pete Dunne. They're the same person, just a name change. Yet you have a problem with that. Get a life, losers. Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate would go on to win this match. We also got an Austin Theory confronting Carmelo Hayes. I'm glad they're better. I'm glad they're not seriously injured. And they're going to have another match next week on SmackDown, so I'm hoping that they don't get injured again. We also got Katana Chance and Kane Carter versus Unholy Union of Isla Dawn and Alba Fire. Katana Chance, it was for the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships. Katana Chance, Kane Carter win, and they were confronted almost immediately by the Kabuki Warriors, Asuka and Kairi Sane. They will have a match, I think, next week with Kanan Chance and Kaden Carter for the women's tag team titles. So that's going to be something to watch out for. We also got a KO show with KO, Kevin Owens, and Logan Paul. It was actually a pretty decent talk show segment because it plays to whenever KO does it, it plays to his strengths. Yeah, I don't know. I think it might have been already on. Then we would also get an LA Knight versus AJ Styles match. This was made because of what happened earlier on in the night during the contract signing. LA Knight and AJ Styles would brawl. AJ Styles would go to Nick Aldis and say, "Hey, I want LA Knight in a match tonight." We got the match, but it didn't get to finish because Solo Sikoa would go out there to quote unquote finish things like he promised earlier on in the night. So he promised to fix the situation, and he fixed only 2/3 of the situation because he wouldn't be able to finish Randy Orton because they would have a match in the main event, which then leveled into another brawl between the Bloodline and the baby faces, with Randy Orton eventually hitting the RKO on Roman Reigns out of nowhere, which is always great to see. But that was it, basically. If I had to rate SmackDown last night, I would rate it a 6 out of 10. Was actually very decent. Some good segments, some good matches. Not much to really... Yeah, I don't know. He might turn heel. Who knows? But SmackDown was okay last night. And that's basically about it, guys. I am going to be leaving pretty soon, so I'm hoping you guys enjoyed this. I'm hoping you guys enjoyed this live stream of mine. I enjoyed it. I like going live for you guys. So I will see you guys later. Maybe she'll return for the Royal Rumble. We never know. She could return for the Royal Rumble. You never know. But I like going live for you guys. And next time you see me go live, you'll probably never know when I'll go live again. But until next time, I will see you guys later. And until next time, peace. Bye, guys.